Welcome back to Let's Talk Harlingen. I'm Mayor Norma Sepulveda.
And I'm Cassandra Concilio.
We're here to keep you updated, informed, and connected to your city.
Let's get into it.
And in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Harlingen. This is episode 8. I'm so excited that you're here with us today. We have such a great episode. And before we get started, though, Cassandra, I wanted to chat with you about downtown and the parking situation here. I feel like every time that I come, so we can do these shoots weekly now, and this is 8 weeks now, every time I come, it is just bustling downtown. And I really didn't know that, even as a community member, even as the mayor, a lifelong resident. I have to kind of park a couple blocks down the street to get to here. Is that how it is for you in the morning?
I actually appreciate having to walk into my office because it gives us a time to walk, come in slowly and get our exercise in for the day. But I agree with you 100%. I love seeing all the cars downtown because that means that they're shopping, that they're eating lunch or having breakfast, they're grabbing a coffee, they're going to get a nutritional shake at Mafi. They're doing these fun things downtown. And they're taking up the parking spaces, and I'm glad for it. I love it. I love to see it. That means that the downtown businesses are thriving. Yeah. And, we have Jackson, but we also have Van Buren. So, both of those are considered the downtown area. And it's just great to see the parking spots filled. I park I want to say maybe it's a block away. And I do like it. I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm here for it. It's awesome. I am, I did catch myself kind of going around the block a couple of times. But I noticed and I thought about it today, and I said, this happens every week, whether I try to park here down the road or on Jackson Street. And I kind of looked around. I'm like, yeah, that's because people are going into Mafi. They're getting their drinks. They're going to have, breakfast. I saw some DPS troopers having breakfast. I have people going in and out, people here on this side of the street too. And it just means that, businesses are thriving downtown, and I love it. And I don't want it to come off like I'm complaining because, I think I've told you this in the past before that, when I went to law school, I interned and I used to have to walk blocks to get in my heels to get to the courthouse for my job, my internship. And so, it's just a different way of life, coming back home and experiencing that. But I think it's great.
Downtown stores are awesome, but we also have our little downtown merch here in 209 West Jackson.
Yes.
And you can come in, buy t-shirts, hats, and we're designing new stuff all the time. And I just want everybody to remember, you can come buy Harlingen merch here at the downtown store. Yeah. And we're open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So come in, get your Harlingen merch to wear. How have you been? I feel like we've done this for 8 weeks, and I feel like I'm 8 outfits.
I know.
But it's fun. I feel like I'm learning about the city so much. And that's because I work here, I live here, I do everything here, but we're getting new nuggets of information. Yes. And this week we had an event called Coffee with the Mayor, and it's Coffee with You. And I really want to invite everybody to come out because it's a special time that we can be relaxed and talk with you. How do you?
Yes, it is probably one of my favorite events, and it's because it is exactly what you mentioned, right? It's more of a casual atmosphere. People come, they feel comfortable having this one-on-one type of conversation. And so I think that it's an opportunity for people to really, get to know what's going on in the community. Every time we have the Coffee with the Mayor, I give just a little bit of an update of where we are, what we're doing, what's to come, those kinds of things. And then sometimes we have special guests. And the special guests are usually, to inform the community of something of importance or a change or an event or something going on. And we had Chief Alvear, which is going to be with us here in a little bit too. But he has had an opportunity to just speak one-on-one. I think it's important for our community to know that police department is here. Really, their mission is to protect and to serve, yes. Right? And to serve the community. And, I'll let him, when he gets here, to talk about all that great stuff. But it's just a really good opportunity. And then we have kind of like a little networking hour. So you have people that are wanting to get to know their neighbors. There were people that had just moved to the city of Harlingen, getting to know people and networking and having an opportunity to just meet new people.
Yeah. And you do it every month, and we
Yes.
try to change locations.
Right.
So we get to experience new restaurants, and we get to see just basically what we have to offer.
Right.
And, everybody's invited. All the conversations are invited. It doesn't have to be over a certain topic, it doesn't have to be anything specific.
Right.
And yeah, I'm glad that you invited Chief Alvear, because sometimes people feel like, well, I want to ask him something, but
Right.
I don't need to be arrested to do so. I'm not trying to go to jail right now.
Right.
But they will have a question, or they
Right.
have something to say, and gives them the opportunity to do so. So that happened this week, and we also had almost like a very tragic thing that happened in our community
Yeah.
this week, and we're very sad for Johnny's True Value, and we give our condolences to the family, to the employees, to the workers, to the whole community of Harlingen is affected by this fire that we had
Yeah.
this week. And, Harlingen Police Department, Harlingen Fire Department acted so quickly, and we had neighbors help us. And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think that the entire community is heartbroken, right? This is a very devastating situation for everyone, because Johnny's True Value, I think everybody knows, everybody drives by it. It is an institution here in the city of Harlingen, and I think that there are a lot of memories for families of all ages, and so that's what makes it so special. And I know that when I got the call in the morning and I was told, initially I thought, okay, it's a fire. I didn't understand the magnitude
Yeah.
until the follow-up call. And I know that fire department, I was a little concerned, because it's a safety issue for our
Yeah, we want
first
them to be safe,
responders. We
of
want them to be
course.
safe. It wasn't just your typical hardware store. They had everything in there, including, ammunition and guns and things like that, that we love right here
Hmm.
in the city of Harlingen. But that was my concern, and definitely it was something very serious, and it was so much so that we needed to get that additional support, like you mentioned. And so here in Harlingen, we since day one that I've been here, I know that this commission has been focused on how can we collaborate and work together with our neighboring communities to grow, right,
Hmm.
for economic development. But we also work together and we care about one another with our sister cities, and they're here to help us in times of crisis. And I would say that is how they step up to help. And we've seen it in the past, and we're very happy that Brownsville Fire Department came to assist our our firefighters here. And definitely they got under control. But I mean, we're still seeing it even now, right? That they're
Yeah.
still working through this. There's investigations that are going to happen. But more than anything, my heart goes out to the Hess family, because I know that this is difficult for them. This has been in their family for years. I reached out to, obviously to let them know that we're here to support, but wanting to give them the space to, I think, to grieve and decide what are the next steps for them.
Yeah, we just wanted to say thank you to the Brownsville Police Department and Fire Department, excuse me, our the Brownsville Fire Department. We
Yes.
want to say thank you to the Harlingen Fire Department, to all of the residents that, respected the area.
Hmm.
Maybe it's on your way, on your commute to work, and we need to respect the area, respect right now what's happening, the investigations,
Right.
and we're there for them, whatever we can help. And, of course, our condolences,
Right.
and we'll be updating the community on how we can help in the future.
Definitely. We know what we know right now, as of now, is that it is a total loss. That's what we're hearing from the fire department, which, of course, is just another layer of heartbreak, right? Because here, we love Johnny's. It's the only place I think that in town that is, locally owned, locally operated, and that has everything that you need. And, I know my family, House of Boys, my husband's in there all the time. And we've even joked on the commission, because we recognize them as a business of the month, and I'm the only woman on the commission, and they too had all their stories. And so
Their memories.
yes, their stories are memories, and it's something really dear to our heart, and we really hope that they rebuild. And we all know that, I really liked the just there's all these modern, different construction that's coming into our community, but Harlingen's so special because we have these really beautiful structures that just, you walk in and it's like just you get that sense of nostalgia, right? As soon as you walk in and you have all these memories, and it's just it's an experience to go in
Yes.
there. And I'm confident that with the support of the community and everything that we can do as a city, that we can help them rebuild and preserve that just beautiful feeling as you're walking in the door into Johnny's.
This is a fun weekend coming up. We do have a lot of events happening, Mayor. We have specifically Art Night, which is the last Friday of the month on A Street and Jackson. So we invite everybody to come out. It's free. You get to hang out on Jackson Street. They have live music and they have a lot of art. We have so many artists in the Harlingen, and we really want to showcase them. And this is the perfect night. So we invite everybody to come out to Harlingen Art Night on Friday, July 25th. And we have a new event. Tell us about the new event.
So the new event I'm excited for is something that we haven't had here in Harlingen, and I'm hoping that the community comes out and supports it so it can become just a tradition here in Harlingen. So it is an event happening at Lansing Hill Park, and it is more of a picnic. So you
Yeah.
bring your blanket, you can pack a little basket of maybe a dinner or light snacks, and there's going to be vendors and music. And there's going to be a movie playing. So it's going to be
Oh,
beautiful.
that's awesome. So this is a free event happening at Lonsea Hill Saturday, July 26th,
Yes.
and it's South Texas pop-up picnic,
Yes.
vendor market, live music, it's like everything. So this is a vendor market that we've never had here in Harlingen,
Correct.
but it's very popular in San Antonio, in Corpus, Houston, and we want to bring it here and we want to showcase those vendors to the valley.
Right.
And it's really fun to experience a new type of vendor market because I know we
Hmm.
have Jackson Street Market days, but these are different vendors. So if anybody
Yeah.
wants to check it out, it's a free event, pop-up picnic, and 6:30 to 10 o'clock at night at the Lonsea Hill Destination Park. Completely free. You got to get out, get down there. And I would say definitely bring your appetite because I
Yes.
know that they have like delicious goodies.
Yep.
And maybe you and I should go just try just a couple of
I
things.
think so. I think, so that we can come back and report how great
We
they
will
are.
be back here with action. Let's talk Harlingen news. And it's going to be delicious and it's going to be
Yes.
fun. And it's new. And we want to keep bringing new types of vendor markets.
Right.
So we got to support them. We got to be out there.
Absolutely. And I think that is important. I know that Harlingen supports local, and this is an opportunity, and we want to be able to continue to do these events. I honestly think that we don't utilize the destination park as much as we should. It's such a beautiful
It
space.
is.
I know Visit Harlingen does a great job putting on events there and brings people from all over the region and even further. And it's a beautiful space. And I know people are going to say, okay, Norma, it's hot. It's hot. Why do I
No,
want to
it's
go
very
out?
shady there.
Exactly. And I think that if
They're
you
not shady
haven't
there,
been
but it
there,
is.
yes, let's rewind. It is an environment where you can, get under a tree, have some shade, and just really enjoy. And then there's the water,
Yes, the water fountain, the
splash
splash
pad
pad.
area.
It's open. It's fun for
Yes.
the kids. So
Yeah.
definitely you got to check out the new market.
Yeah.
But today we're going to welcome somebody very fun, and it's the new Chief Alvear. But for most people, he's not new. He's been around for a long time. So we're going to get into a really
Yes.
fun conversation with Chief Alvear.
It is exciting. And so, yeah, let's just get into it.
Today, we're honored to welcome Harlingen's newest police chief, Alfredo Alvear. He's been with the city a long, long time, and we are so honored and pleased to have you here at Let's Talk Harlingen so we can get to know you a little bit better. Welcome, Chief.
Thank you for having me here today. I'm honored.
Chief, so you have stepped into this role and you are the new chief, but you're definitely not new to the Harlingen Police
That's right.
Department.
That's right.
Can you tell us a little bit about your background?
So I'm originally from Brownsville, but I've made Harlingen my community. Uh, I was in high school and I ended up going through a law enforcement class where my teacher was a huge mentor, and so I really got into law enforcement. And I graduated from high school, joined the Marines, and ended up joining the police department in 1995. And I'm very humbled. I come from a very low income family. I always like to let people know that hey, there was some struggles growing up, right? To bathe, I had to warm water on a stove, and flush a toilet with a bucket of water. And if it rained outside, it was going to rain inside the house. So, like I said, I come from humble beginnings, so I'm very proud to be here today.
Wow, congratulations. I know that you've worked really hard, and I couldn't imagine from thinking, right, as a young child, like, "I'm gonna be the chief of Harlingen, Texas," and you've made it, and
Never crossed my
congratulations.
mind, right? Never
But
crossed my
you did
mind.
it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, and I know you're a great example for kids that are starting off, maybe they have the same experiences as
Mhm.
you right now, and they say, "Look, I can make it too because of you." So,
Yes,
thanks
of
for being a
course.
great
Thank
role
you.
model. But what are some of your top goals for this year as being chief of Harlingen Police Department?
So I've mentioned before, I want to reconnect obviously with the community, and I think I've talked to the mayor about this. We want to reconnect by going back to the basics, right? Talking to people, getting off your cars, getting to know your community, right? As cliche as it sounds, we have to remind officers that that's really what we should be doing, right? And obviously, my other goal is crime reduction, reducing crime in the city, and reducing the fear of crime, in our society, right? In our community. So those are my goals. And it's, like I said, it's basic police work, and it's getting off the car and talking to people and
Do the work.
doing the job. Hmm.
So, Chief, I know that, and you speak so eloquently, and say it's, basic police work. But for those of us, we really don't, we don't live it day in and day out.
Hmm.
Especially, we haven't lived it for the last 30 years.
Correct.
You have kind of gone through all of the different departments within the police department, which I think, as a citizen of Harlingen, I just want to thank you for your
Hmm.
service, because it isn't something that came easy to you, working patrol, being in the detectives, doing, every single department. That gives you like a different perspective, and an understanding of what it takes, and also how taxing it can be on the officer. So I think, and we've talked about this before,
Hmm.
that it was a difficult, it wasn't an easy process in applying for this position. We had a
Yeah, by
committee, a
all
lot of
means.
vetting, lots of applicants, and you were the recommended chief for the commission for a reason. It's because you understand Harlingen, you understand the department, and you have a lot to offer. Having said that, can we talk a little bit about, because when you talk about serving the community engagement, all the great work that you do in and around the city, but you also talk about crime and crime fighting, and that's getting back to the basics of the crime fighting. I've seen lately a lot of operations with different agencies. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Having come from within, like you mentioned, from within the department, I believe that I do know where our weaknesses are and where our strengths are. And so, looking back at several of the administrations and taking taking what's worked, uh, like for example, DDEX, right? This and I guess I know what you're saying when you say basic police work. To me is a little complicated for others, right?
Like, what's
With
DDEX?
DDAX. So that DDAX and SAFER are two. It's the same strategy and with a different name. It's data-driven approach to crime and traffic safety. And basically, what that is putting all your information, taking that information, your crime and your traffic accidents, and putting them together and mapping out your crime and your accidents, and coming up with a plan to say, hey, we're having crime in this area, so we call it a hotspot, and we have to deploy our units. We have to send our police cars to that area and make sure that, hey, we're addressing whatever crime is taking place in that area. And if it's accidents in a particular neighborhood or a particular intersection, then deploying police cars to make traffic stops and hopefully reduce traffic accidents and fatalities.
So,
Hmm.
so I think what I'm hearing, I don't know about you, Cassandra, is that everything is done with intention.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. For the community to think that, oh, they're just roaming around and, there's random police here. It's not random. It
That's not
is
random.
very specific, very thought out, and there's an intentional plan behind it in order to make us the safest we can.
Yes, and one of the things that we're doing now a lot of, and I know you mentioned collaboration with other agencies. Recently, we worked with DPS in particular, right? Department of Public Safety, the troopers, right, as people know them. We worked together in three different operations. One was during spring break, one was at the beginning of summer, and one was recently, about a week or two ago. And so the 4th of July weekend, right? And so what we did is we had them come into our city along with our officers, and we started deploying our units out in the streets and basically doing, like I said, basic police work, right? Stopping cars to prevent accidents and fatalities. And so I'm very proud to say, in collaboration with them, we had over 700 traffic stops, 15 DWI arrests, and about 9 other arrests for other reasons. But the bottom line is, we ended up with we went from 10 DWIs our first operation to 2 DWIs
Oh, so it
this last
worked.
operation. Well, that's what we're guessing, right? I mean,
Well, the data does not lie.
No, it doesn't. No,
And
it
I
doesn't.
and I really like your approach. I know we talked about this in the past, and everything, doing, speaking about making these decisions with intention, and really taking the time to analyze the data and saying we want the community to know that we're going to be pulling them over. We don't want to take them by surprise. We want them to know, because we want them to think twice. And I think you talked a little bit about this yesterday, over at Coffee with the Mayor, that there's other alternatives for people. What is your message to the citizens of Harlingen, that want to go out, have a good time, but we all live here. You've said this multiple times. You're raising a family here. I am. Cassandra is, and a lot of people here in the city, and we care about our families, and we share the same roads. What is your message to the people in Harlingen?
I'm glad you mentioned that because one of the things I will say is I do take it in a sense kind of personal, right? Because my family lives here, I live here, I work here, we play here, right? So what we try to do is make sure that the way we keep Harlingen safe is by collaborating with other agencies, have them come in, help us do our job, right?
Mhm.
Because it's with like DPS, we're a force multiplier, right? And I really strongly believe that we can't do it without our partners. We can't do it without help from other agencies and just partnerships, right? That we create along the way.
Mhm.
So going back to the operations that you've had and your DWI numbers coming down, what is your message to the community on how can you have a good time, but also remember lives are at stake every time you drive
Mhm.
behind, when you're intoxicated?
Yes, and and I'm glad you mentioned that. There's we have businesses in town that obviously they serve drinks, right? Restaurants, etc. But you're right. There's nothing wrong with having a good time, right? There's nothing wrong with having a good time, enjoying time with your family, friends. All we want to say is, call a ride share, call a friend, and if you don't have anybody, I mean, and you feel like, hey, you know what, the police department might help me, call 911 and say, hey, you know what, I'm too intoxicated to drink. I'd like to ride home, etc. I mean, I don't see why we can't do that, in an emergency. But
Yeah.
for the most part, yeah, call a ride share or call a friend.
It's very important for us. It's like we're in 2025. There's Ubers, there's Lyfts, there's taxis, and just the community can feel safe reaching out to a family, to a friend, to the parent, and that's really I think the message is safety, and we want to make sure everybody makes it home that
Right.
night.
Hmm.
And is there a correlation between you all being out in the community doing more stops and crime going down or up, or is there some
Yes.
sort of?
Oh, yeah. So statistically, when traffic stops go up,
Mhm.
your crime goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of DDEX, the data-driven approach.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see the numbers when you see them on a graph and you see traffic stops going up and crime going down. And the one thing I want to say is we're not out there to give tickets. That's not our job. I mean, we give as many warnings as we give tickets, and probably more warnings than we give
Mhm.
tickets. But obviously, it's because it's for a reason. We stop cars because we are in effect
That's your
promoting safety, and we're encouraging our officers to, hey, you know what? This is crime fighting. Part of crime fighting is stopping cars.
is prevention,
Yes.
is really saying, hey, this is what's happening. Something can happen. You don't want you to get hurt. You don't want anybody else to get hurt. So we're watching you.
Yeah, no, we're taking a proactive approach.
That's
Mhm.
wonderful. Thank you so much, Chief. So what modern tools and strategies are you guys using to keep Harlingen safe?
So again, we re-implemented DDAX, which is now called Safer. It's strategic analysis for focused engagement with results. And like I said, bottom line, it's stopping cars, making contact with people out in the street, and that's crime fighting. Another thing that we're doing is reconnecting with the community at a high level. We've worked with school district, Boys and Girls Club, Valley Haven. uh, just right now, a little while ago, I came back from a youth academy graduation. So we had a wonderful time with these kids, 3 days of training and engaging with the community, with the kids and their parents. And they had a good time. And today was graduation, but it was really neat to see the kids and the parents come to graduation and be honored, right, to be part of this youth academy.
Is this the first year you have the Youth Academy?
Yes, it's not the first year, but it's something that we brought back.
And it's a 3-day intensive policeman course or woman?
It was it was for kids. It was for the youth. It was kids between 12 and 16, I believe.
That's awesome. And you put the application on Facebook? Or?
Yes, and we sold out, as they say, right?
You actually, how many people applied and got accepted?
About 50 applied, and then we ended up with 42 in the class.
That's great. That's a big first class.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And are you going to try this again, like in fall break maybe or something?
We actually mentioned it, and the officer mentioned that we might do this next year, and I went ahead and gave the approval because of the response we had.
Hey, achieve for the kids.
Right?
I love that. It's like, I think because you have a family and your child has grown up in Harlingen, that you're looking out for, like classes and things that would help your, like as if it was your child. So
Yes,
I think
of course.
I think that's really important. It's very thoughtful that you have that connection to the community and you want to give back in a sense to the kids because, hey, maybe they never thought I would be a police officer and they go to a 3-day intensive course and they really enjoy it and they really learn and could also set some kids straight.
Right. But we also have a youth program that's ongoing. It's called the Harlingen Police Explorers.
Okay.
It's under the umbrella of the Boy Scouts of America, but we manage it, and it's been very successful. We have several kids that went on to be state troopers, Harlingen police officers, ICE agents. I mean, we have a big group of kids that are former police explorers.
It's a very successful.
Yes.
That's great.
And I believe in it. I'm a product of a youth program too.
I love that. And do you also have anything for older volunteers?
Yes, we do have a volunteer in policing program. It's called VIP in Volunteers in Policing, VIP. I just recruited a retired police officer, and I'll mention his name, Johnny Ramirez. And
Thank you, Mr. Ramirez.
He's going to be volunteering with us. And I told him, look, even if you give us 4 hours a day to help our fleet manager drive cars to the shop to get fixed, that in itself takes time. So that allows for an officer to be free to do their job, right? Instead of having to drive down to the shop, which is about 10, 15 minutes from here. But Officer Ramirez volunteered to come back as a volunteer, and he retired from our police department after 27 years and even went on to work with Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission for 10 years. So
that's a long career.
Yeah, so that's one program. And then we have the Citizens Police alumni who are members of they're the alumni of the Citizens Police Academies. Okay. And we recently had a Citizens Police Academy also for adults.
Wow. And all these applications are where?
We will put them out on Facebook and out in the public and let people know that, hey, we're having this academy come up and people are more than welcome to sign up.
That's awesome. I think you guys did a really fun program the other day, including water guns.
Oh, that's
right. The water gun fight?
Yes.
That was one of our officers that came up with the idea. I don't come up with all these ideas.
I think that's really cool too, that the guys, right, the force itself is bringing ideas to you and you're saying, let's go with it.
And that's what I told our staff. I actually told our staff at a meeting, I said, look, I'm just one. I said, this is our department. You need to come up with ideas too, right? These are not just my ideas. And so actually one of the officers came up to me and said, hey, sir, can I do this? I said, run with it.
That's awesome.
And it was a blast. And I think we had the response we wanted. And there was even one family member that said it, she posted on Facebook and saying that, hey, they're not bad guys. Right?
They're not bad boys.
They're not.
Yeah. And they're nice people, right? And so that was really heartwarming, I think, on our end, right? To
To
hear
receive
that.
that
Yes,
feedback
of course.
because it is right. The more you're out there with the kids showing, I'm here to protect you. I'm not the scary man. I'm
Right.
here for you to help you succeed and
Hmm.
be safe in Harlingen. I know that you're having another fun event coming up on August 5th. What is
That's
that?
going to be National Night Out,
Hmm.
and it's a day where the entire United States, the United States has tons of thousands of police departments throughout, and it's a night throughout the United States where citizens come out to show, hey, we're not afraid of crime, of criminals, and they come out and obviously as a show of force, right?
Hmm.
And on that particular night, we celebrate it by having vendors come out, and we'll have face painting, we'll have vendors, food vendors, and
Dunking booth?
we'll also have free food. By the way, I think
Oh.
everything's free actually.
Yes.
Oh, that's
We'll have a
awesome.
dunking booth. We'll have
Hot
games for
dogs
the
and
kids,
burgers.
hot dogs, drinks, and the giveaways, right? And a lot of businesses will come out and do giveaways like HEB, Walmart, uh, Stefano's, or Peter
Starbucks.
Piper and Starbucks. They all come out and do giveaways, and families love it because it's free, right?
And this is like the whole United States celebrates National Night Out,
Yes.
and we're participating. Do any other like communities come and join you?
Yes, we'll have different agencies come out and support us
Hmm.
as we do their programs.
Oh, I mean, you guys, sometimes people would think, right? Oh, they're just out in the streets. No, you're engaging with the community, young community, with the
Mhm.
older community. You're putting on events. You are doing detective work. There's so many layers to the police department, and you've done all of them. And now you're at the top and you're like, hey, I want all of my team to participate
Yeah,
because
of
that's
course.
how you get to
Of
make it
course.
better and
And in
grow.
It's
October,
true.
we'll have our Heroes Run. Run
Oh,
with the Heroes. So that'll be actually on a Sunday.
Sunday
Oh, wow.
morning.
It'll be October 19th. It's coming up. It'll be a Sunday morning, and we're going to try it out to see if a Sunday will bring us more runners.
I think so. I think that one's such a great event, and it's some of them are in full uniform, right? When they're
Yes, I've seen
running,
them.
carrying
Mhm.
flags, and it's an awesome event. Before we wrap up, I did want to just hit on something that I've observed, right, and from the mayor's office
Mhm.
is that I've been here for a little over 3 years, and I've been following along as does most of the community, because y'all are very active online on social media, and you provide information regarding arrest.
Yes.
And we want to see, we want people that are committing crimes. Obviously, everybody is going to
Mhm.
be supportive of. We need to, these are the people that we need to be arresting, prosecuting, and making sure that we go through that justice system. But I have noticed in while you're in your during your time as interim and now as chief, that there has been a real push to focus on criminals, like not just petty offenses, but serious
Mhm.
crimes. And I just want to say that I have observed that there have been crimes committed, transparency as crime reported, and then immediately, almost immediately, the suspect is found, arrested, and then you report on that. And what is it that you're doing? And I know you can't share all,
Yeah,
right?
of
Because
course.
you've got information that that is your strategic
Mhm.
plan. But for the community to know, because and people are
We're
telling me, like,
mhm.
Chief Alvear is doing such a great job.
We're engaging with the district attorney's office, and I met with them and I let them know that, hey, we want to work with you a lot more. We want to have a better relationship, and we want to be able to come to the table and say, hey, we have this case. Give us some direction if we need that direction. I'm not embarrassed to say we don't know everything, right? And we are willing to be open minded and say, hey, come to the table. We have this case. Give us some direction. Let's meet again in a month. How can we make it better? If we have to plug holes, we got to plug holes. If we have to let them know, hey, you know what? We want to move forward with this, uh, and we want to make an arrest, etc. What do you want out of this, right? Are you ready to prosecute, etc.? I mean, we want to make sure that we have a good relationship with the district attorney because they prosecute our cases,
Hmm.
right? They prosecute our cases. And recently on some of these cases, we have actually consulted with them and let them know, hey, we're here, we're at this step, we want to take it further. What's your recommendation? And recently we did make some arrests that we came forward with because of the DA's office.
That's wonderful. And it goes back to, doing everything with intention. I think that it's important, right, for people to know that we're not just wanting to arrest people. We want to make
Mhm.
sure that we're arresting and we're putting forward the best case possible, that there is a prosecution and there's justice for victims
Mhm.
and justice for the citizens of Harlingen and a deterrent to those in our community and the surrounding communities saying if there's a crime committed in Harlingen, HPD is going to ensure that they investigate and that there is arrest. The days of being able to do that are in the past, and it's a new chapter for the citizens of Harlingen. You're committed to community policing and crime fighting, which is
Yes.
getting back to the basics. So thank you so much. I know that it's a sacrifice every day that you put on the uniform, and every single person that does. And we're so grateful to the police department
Thank
for
you.
everything they do to protect us. Is there any last message that you
No,
want to leave with the
just want
city?
to say that, arrest is a last resort for us, right? But at the same time, we want our citizens to report crimes and let us know what's going on. So if you see something, right, say something. So if you
See
see something,
something,
say
say something.
something,
Yeah.
right?
Thank
Awesome.
you so much, Chief. I
Thank
feel like
you.
we've learned a lot today. And I do want to say, I think the best press release that you've put out, right, is captured, done, wrapped it up. We
Yes.
don't want the crime to happen, but if it does, we want to make sure it's solved and finished and you did something.
Mhm.
And
Great.
we've been seeing them. And just to read what the mayor said, okay, this happened, we're doing this, and here's a resolve. To see all of that is great for the community to know you guys are working for us. So yeah, on behalf of, the city, the employees, and from just a regular mom in Harlingen, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you for having me today. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So every week we ask you guys to submit questions to our email, let's talk Harlingen at harlingentx.gov. And last week we said we would give anybody whose question is read on air a cup, a Let's Talk Harlingen cup. This is super cute. Oh my goodness, I bought it at Johnny's. Oh, I
Oh.
did. So this is actually really special. And we did get a question from Danny in Harlingen, and Danny's subject is Lincoln/Highway Underpass. Danny says, the overgrown grass and trash in and around the Lincoln Street and Highway Underpass has been neglected by either the City of Harlingen or TxDOT. Maybe it's time to partner up with TxDOT. This area pertains to the San Benito office. Brownsville has been cleaning up their city. Possibly Harlingen can do the same or better. Thanks for your consideration. Mayor?
So, Cassandra, first of all, I want to, thank you for choosing that question. So, because we want, our viewers and our listeners to know that we're not going to just, choose the nice and fuzzy and that make us feel good questions. We want to talk about real issues in our community. And so this has been somewhat of a hot topic. So thank you, Danny, for writing in and asking this question. This is definitely something that has been concerning for everyone. And as a community member myself and riding around town and driving through the same streets that you do, of course, I see that as well. Just so that you know, I'm not sure exactly when this was emailed in, but that has been taken care of since the email, I'm assuming. But it is because we've been working with TxDOT for over a year to try to work together and have some type of agreement where we can, in fact, as a city, take over that maintenance. Because you're right, it is the jurisdiction of TxDOT, and the city has to work with TxDOT to have permission and have what is considered a memorandum of agreement to be able to work on these areas around town. So it is important to us. We want to beautify our city. We know how important it is to the community. We thank you for your question. This is definitely something that we've been working on. We've been talking about it on the commission level, and we invite you to our previous, I think it was episode, I don't know, maybe y'all can help me. I think it was episode 6. Is that right? Or 7? 7, we had a commissioner recap when we talked about finally getting the green light after over a year of negotiations to be able to get that going. And so, yes, the city of Harlingen is going to be working on having our crews. And it was such a beautiful thing. We had public works, we had parks, different departments and code within the city working together to really beautify that space. And we're going to continue to do that. And we're working on trying to get these memorandum of agreements for other areas that are also TxDOT jurisdiction, not just off the expressway, but in other areas around town to just to beautify our community. So thank you for the question. Great question. And I am so sad. It just, as soon as you said that you got it at Johnny's, it just hit me in all my feelings.
Yeah, me too.
So, but Danny's going to get this, and I think that's a good thing. And it just reminds me that there's brighter days ahead, right, for
Yes.
Johnny's, and we're going to get them to where they need to be.
I agree. So the community, please continue to email us. Let's talk Harlingen at harlingentx.gov. Again, we read your question on air. You're going to get a cup. And we just love having these kind of really one-on-one conversations with the community.
Right.
So thanks so much for submitting your question.
And that is it for this episode of Let's Talk Harlingen. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, and we can't wait to see you next time. That's it for this episode of Let's Talk Harlingen.
If you like what you heard today, make sure to subscribe on our YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts.
We've got more conversations coming your way.
Let's talk again soon, Harlingen.